Hello, friends. Happy Friday. Hope the audio and the video are coming through nice and clear. I am looking forward to a long weekend, but before we dive in, I just want to say for those of you that have served our country or your country or whatever country, if you have served in the military forces or you have a loved one, family member that has, I just want to say thank you for your service and happy Veterans Day. Today is a day that I get off work, and I gotta tell you, I'm tired. The past couple of months have been really tiring for me, and this month at work is really super busy. So I have not had a chance to do any sewing, I feel like, in forever. I did do this, wherever it is behind me. I did do that, but that's kind of the only thing that I've done. And I've got a number of videos that I want to work on, a number of projects that are waiting for me to get in here and dig in. And by the time I get home at night and do my stuff, I just don't have the gumption or the motivation. And I'm bringing all that up not to complain, but to be real and transparent with you and tell you I've kind of lost my sojo over the past few weeks, couple of months. I've got a lot going on. And I'm sharing that with you because I am sure someone out there can relate to that. There are moments where I am sure you've lost your sojo temporarily, or maybe for a good period of time. And perhaps one of the things that you're looking for is, how do I get back into it? How do I make myself want to do this so that I can enjoy it? Because you know that once you start sewing, it's going to be great and it's going to be wonderful and you're going to love it, but you just can't get started. That's kind of where I am tonight, if I'm being completely honest with you. So I'm going to show you what I do when I try to get my sojo back. And I'll tell you, one of the things that works really well for me is being with other quilters, whether that's physically in the same space with them, creating together, or honestly, probably more, I think I relate to this, being with them virtually. There are a number of content creators out there that do live streams while they're sewing. Tiffany does one, Ian does one. I could list off a whole bunch of names. Not all of my moderators do them. Teresa, Tiffany, and Ian are the three. Oh, Donna does one. Sean does one. I could literally sit here and just go down an entire list of YouTube content creators that create live streams while they're sewing. But I would be here all night. So I'm not going to do that. I will tell you, the reason why I bring that up is because I have found watching people sew or work on something creative really gets my creative juices going. And I didn't appreciate that. If I'm being completely honest with you, I don't know that I fully appreciated how inspiring and fun and uplifting a live stream for sewing can be until I watched Laura Lynn with Mama Pop Quilt Shop. She does a live stream on Saturdays. I can't always make it, but I do try to pop in occasionally. And there have been times where I've popped in and I don't even say anything in the chat. It's just knowing that she's creating something on the other side of the screen and people are also creating and keeping in the chat, that inspires me to just want to create. And so I'm hoping that what I'm going to do here tonight is going to inspire you to do something. Pull out a project, dust it off. If it's something that you haven't worked on for a while, let me know. Let me know that maybe this is helping to inspire you to tackle a project or a craft or a creative item or a milestone that maybe you just really have kind of put up on the shelf and really not wanted to think about for a while. So that's what I'm going to work on tonight. Before I get started, I don't think I have anything. Never mind. I was going to say, before I get started, I want to share with you announcements, but I don't think I have any announcements. So I'm just going to read through the chat and say hi to people. Oh, yeah. By the way, Mama Pop Quilt Shop, I put this on because I wanted to give them a special shout out and show them some love. So if you haven't checked them out, make sure to find them on YouTube. You can just do a search for Mama Pop Quilt Shop. You'll find their YouTube channel. Hop on over, definitely tomorrow. Stop by, watch their videos, say hi, show them some love. And if you like what you see there, consider hitting that subscribe button. All right. Congratulations, Melina, I think I said that right, on your new grandson. Looks like somebody has an addition to the baby, or to the family, has a baby addition to the family. Oh my goodness. Pat Strawhouse says, yes, both of my parents served in the RCAF airplane. Awesome. Royal Canadian Air Force airplane in World War II. That is awesome. Ian says, you look and sound great. Thank you for that. By the way, for those of you that didn't notice, the words were misaligned. And I was like, oh, that's not right. So I was dragging it over. And as I was doing that, Ian was like, thank you for doing that. That would have driven me crazy. I don't know how it got off messed up, but it did. All right, so lots of thank yous for service, and I think that's it. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Ian, for putting that link in the chat. If you are watching live stream, you want to check out their channel, there's a link thanks to Ian in the chat. You can click on that, hop over, give them a little subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and then next time they go live or post a video, you'll get a notification, and you can check them out that way too. Hello, Doreen. She says, hi, Becca. Great to see you. Nice to see you, too. Angel M. So Nerdy says, I went back to school, and I literally have zero sojo. I've been creating, but no sewing. Yes. Karen Brunette says, so, Becca, y'all encourage me more than you'll ever know. Sending much love your way. Oh, my goodness. Girl, please send those vibes, because I have none. I have none. Barbara Baker says, Mama Pop Quilt Shop was one of the first YouTubers I found when I wanted to learn to quilt. Awesome teachers. So great. Katie says, hi, Becca. My youngest daughter, Kristen, served on the George Washington aircraft carrier as an engineer. I notice I sew more because of you and your live feeds as well as videos. Same. I will tell you, there are a few content creators out there. Jean Truelove was one of them. I think I started with her. Mama Pop Quilt Shop, I have found I like sewing with them. Tiffany and Teresa, I have finished things watching their live streams. I'm too busy talking in Ian's live streams to actually do any sewing, but those videos make me want to sew. So that's one of the ways I get my sojo back. Gloria Butler says, I just finished a quilt for my goddaughter who has breast cancer. I have heard that people who are on chemo are cold so much of the time. Please think good thoughts for her and her family. Looks like Kathy's Quilts is here. Karen says, I have so many things to finish by Christmas. I have to get busy. Yes, yes, yes. Heather from the Debt Free Quilter says, sometimes all the inspiration in the world can't crack a tired funk. And that's me today. I have tried to take several naps today and it has not worked out in my favor. So I feel you on the tired part. We are, I am just to share a little bit before I get into what I'm going to work on. I just want to talk for a minute. I normally work kind of out by Dulles Airport, which is not in DC now. And with my, ooh, did things really mess up? Like, is the video and audio lagging really bad? Because it looks like it is on my end. I'll just look for the chat to see if somebody tells me I'm okay. I have no idea what's going on right now. But while I'm waiting for that, Bambi House says, hello, finally made the live stream. Hello, Bambi. And it looks like Andrea from Arkansas Gals is here. Hello, hello, hello. Georgia McCroy says, hi, all. It's been a while since I've been here. You're looking good, Becca. Thank you. Yes, I am not in sync. Okay, well, let's try something then. Voice is lagging. Okay, hold on. I don't know why it's doing that. Wow, that's really bad. Is that a... Now let's go back. Way out of sync. Is that better? No? Okay. Hold on. Let's fix something. I literally, there's nothing else running. Let's try this. Okay, you can see in here lips are out of sync. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're just going to go to this. Give me a second to fix the tech. We'll do this as we chat. Or as I just work, you'll just stare at me. I have no idea what's going on right now. Like, it's really bad. And we're just going to drag it right on over. So, different angle today, huh? And then let me put, is it this way? I think it's this way. Yeah. Yeah, it's that way. Okay. And then this way, hold on. I'm literally fixing one person show. Means it takes a minute, and we're going to try doing this. This is supposed to be a new feature. Let's see how this works. Oh, where would we be without the tech issues, right? And then we're going to make, like this. Wow, that's the wrong way. Totally the wrong way. You're looking out my window, which is not what I wanted for you. Oh gosh. So look at my door. And if you're looking at the reflection of the door, you will get to see how messy my room is right now, which is so much fun. Seriously, so much fun. That does not help if it is backwards. Like, sorry guys. Okay, let's see how we can get this way. Hi, how are ya? How's that? This should help. Just give me a minute. Okay. Tech issues. Dun dun dun. But the picture quality is amazing, isn't it? It is. Oh no, hide that. Just give me a second to get all this set up. This is using my iPhone to stream, which is, honestly, the picture quality is a lot better than the other cameras. Okay, looking great. You know what? I think I've been thinking about just switching to using that camera, because that camera is freaking amazing. The color is awesome. Like, the colors are perfect. I just don't look as good because you can see me in all of my glory and definition. Let me fix the audio too. Okay. All right. Test, test, test. Coming through a little bit lower than I would like. Let me fix that too. How is that? Is the audio coming through okay now? I hope so. I hope the audio is coming through clear. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. The picture quality is so good. Love it. Yeah, I think we're gonna switch. I think it's this. I've been thinking about this for a minute. So for those of you that don't have an iPhone, one of the things that got released in the new iPhone update is the ability to use your iPhone as a webcam. So I can, and so I don't have to just go live from my phone to get this picture quality. I can still go live with all my software and use that as a webcam, which gives you amazing picture quality. A little quiet still. Okay, was better before. Okay, hold on. 1 second. Lots of info coming in from Ian, so I appreciate that. So we're going to go back to, whoa, that's too hot. Let me pull it down a little bit. All right, so we're going to go back to this microphone, which is going to be probably a little bit better audio quality, but it is plugged into a different camera, and so there could maybe be some lip audio sync issues. So if you, I need to look here, not there. So if you see any of those things, just let me know. I'm going to take the time to move this camera just a little bit, just so the angle is still where I want it to be. Sorry, guys. I hope I'm not making anybody sick out there. Oopsies. 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 I have no idea. Like, I have no idea right now. Much better. Hands give me lots. Lots of feedback. But see, the problem is when I do that, I cannot, oh, that's a wide angle lens. I can't get, you know what? We're only going to use the one tonight, so we're just going to do this. Here we go. This is it. This is all we're doing. We're just going to do the one thing. But at least this way, when I'm looking at the chat, it looks like I'm looking at you. That's a pet peeve of mine. I like to look at the lens when I'm talking to you, so I like to have the camera lens where the chat is. We're not going to spend any more time working on the tech tonight because I could go down a rabbit hole. But I'm glad to know that the audio quality is working and the video is working nicely, because this is something like I said, something I've been thinking about for a while. So maybe we're just going to switch our setup. All right, we're done chit-chatting about that. Let's talk about where I was. What was I talking about? What was I talking about? Hey, Sean. Okay, Molly Fox says, when are you going to update your health journey? I'm still behind you. So that's actually something that maybe we can talk about before I get into sewing. This is something that I keep thinking I want to record a video for, but then I think I don't want to record a video for, and I don't really know. I don't really know what to do. So, better health journey. I'm going to summarize it in about 2 minutes. And then maybe I can just do a quick video and put it out there so people know what's going on. I'm going to preface it with my better health journey can't be just about weight loss and eating and physical health. There's a whole conundrum there, right? There's mental health, there's physical health, there's emotional health, there's all of the things. And I specifically wanted to be on a trajectory in this year that would keep me cognizant of all of those things, spiritual, mental, physical health, and being aware of what they are and practicing self-care when needed. The weight loss portion, I will admit, is kind of on pause right now, but it is on pause because I am focusing very hard on mental health. If you have not been following me, and you can say this is an excuse, if I'm being completely honest with you, I haven't shared this with anybody because I know somebody out there is going to say that's just an excuse. And you know what? You might be right. I can only just tell you what my reality is. I have had to put a pause on some of the eating element and the weight loss element so that I can deal with the other things that are going on in my life. And there's a lot of stressors in my home. For those of you that have not been paying attention, my mother-in-law is living with us through the end of the year. She fell at the beginning of September and was paralyzed from the neck down. She is recovering, but it is a long, slow road. My daughter, I haven't actually even shared this at all. My daughter had some health issues that had to be corrected today. Nothing serious, but that's been something we've been dealing with. Plus, being a mom, work has been pretty stressful. My parents require a lot of stuff. Like, I could sit here and list all of the things, but all of those things have taken a toll on me. And I just need time to focus on being present and emotionally stable and mentally secure and all that stuff. And that's a real thing. And I can't take this thing of weight loss on top of it. So I've put it on the shelf. I've not closed the door on it. I am still trying to be as active as I can. I'm doing a lot of walking, especially with the puppy, but I'm not logging all of my food, and I'm indulging a little bit more than I should be, if I'm being completely honest. And then after the new year, we'll pick it back up again. I'm still down from what I was at the beginning of the year. I probably won't end this year down to what I wanted to be. But I think it's far more important for me to recognize when I need to focus on other areas of my life. And I have said all of this, and I'm literally just rambling now because I don't want to read the chat, because I'm terrified that somebody is disappointed in me. If you don't know me outside of this setting, let me just tell you, I am 150% a people pleaser. I struggle when I feel like I have disappointed somebody. I struggle when I feel like I have not done something that was expected of me, or I have done it less than what it needs to do. So that plays into the emotional wellness too. So we're just going to let that scroll past for a second. And then we're going to get into sewing. I'm not going to talk about it anymore tonight because I will just sit here and buy words and ramble, and nobody came here to see that. So, all right, watching all of it go, watching all of it go. I'm just going to drink coffee. But for those of you that are curious, I guess I'll share this part. I started talking about this. I think this is what I had started talking about. I normally work out of an office that is out by the Dulles Airport. And it's a nice commute. It's a drive through the country. Ian has backdoor access to me when I'm when I'm doing this. And he texted me and said the comments in the chat are so incredibly positive, and I really appreciate that. I'm not going to read each one because all it'll take is that one comment to completely derail me. It'll just take the one, and I don't want to do that on a live stream. So I'm gonna end with that. So since we moved into this home, just before we moved in here, I had taken a new position at my work, and that work location would allow me to work out of DC or out of the office out by Chantilly. And so when we moved down here, I opted to start working at the office in Chantilly. And fortunately, the position that I'm in allows me to telework a little bit, a couple days a week, and then the other 3 days I'm in the office. But the drive in is amazing. It's just like little country roads. I've got to watch out for deer. Like, that's my problem. That's my problem. Now, it is a 2-lane road, so sometimes those roads can get a little backed up if I leave at the wrong time, school buses and whatnot. But by and large, it's a 45-minute drive one way. And it's not very many miles, but it's a calm 45-minute drive. You know, you're surrounded by trees and not traffic, and that's really nice. For the month of November, however, I've taken a temporary opportunity to step into a role that I am extremely enjoying, and that position through this month requires me to go into DC, which is a totally different commute. It is not 45 minutes. It's probably about an hour and a half one way because of traffic, and it is dealing with the highway. And those hours are pretty long. So you take an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back, plus a 10 or 11-hour drive. You're looking at 3 hours commute time, plus I could work 8 hours, but it's been a very busy week. I've been working 10 or 11 hours, which means I've been putting in with the commute, I've been putting in between 11 on a straight 8-day and 14 or 15 hours a day this week. So I'm really tired, but it's awesome. And that's one of the other things that I'm dealing with right now. So, oh, Wendy, actually, that one just jumped out, and I'll read this and move on. Wendy says, if you aren't the right mental space, it's very hard to lose. I hope things get better mentally and physically for all your family, and you're just beautiful the way you are. Thank you. And that's why I'm focusing on the mental, because I need to be in the right headspace so that I can keep doing what I want to do. So Barbara says, did you sort your fabric by color, or do you keep collections together? Actually, this is such a great shot for you. All of my fabric is sorted by color family. So if you look up here, these are all of my whites and tans. And then down here, this is like all of my corals. Over here, behind here, this is my teals. My pinks are down here. The only thing that's different is, shoot, right here, this shelf and this shelf here. These two shelves are my batiks. I've pulled the batik out, and they have 2 dedicated shelves themselves, and they're in rainbow order. So if I were to take this quilt down behind me, you would see it start with red and go all the way over. Aw, Sean, I love you too. He said, I take deer and 2-lane roads over the tunnel traffic and the traffic I have. I find carpooling with a coworker makes it easier. I do too. Oh, Tiffany, I love you. I love you. You're awesome. Okay, we're done. We're done. We're done talking about it. So I started the live by telling you, before I had all the tech issues, I started the live by telling you, I want to show you what I do when I need to get my sojo back. And so that's what we're going to do. And I am now realizing that I don't know if I can give you the overhead shot. We're going to try. We're going to try. But it is going to require that I do a couple of fun things here. So we'll just try to do this while I am talking. If you guys, oh, Janine, you said it's okay. You don't owe anyone an explanation. But see, that's the thing in my head. I feel like I owe all of you an explanation all of the time. Like, it's just, it's what I struggle with. It's just my brain. It's how my brain works. So I'm going to go this way, and then we're going to pull this like that. And then I'm going to come up here, okay? And then this, and we'll pull it down. And then bada bing, bada boom. Guess what we have? That's right. We have picture in picture, just like we had before. So I'm so excited about this. Now, I will tell you, I do have a tripod sitting on my desk right now. And so as I start sewing, that might bounce, and I'm not going to stop to troubleshoot that or try to make it better. It is what it is, but I'm happy to know that this camera works as an amazing main camera, and I'm gonna change my tech setup over the next couple of weeks to switch to that. All right, let's get in. What do I do when I have lost my Sojo? For those of you that don't know this about me already, I have found a love for tiny piecing. Now, don't go clicking off and running out the door and be like, I will never work with tiny, tiny pieces. You don't have to do tiny piecing. You can do whatever type of piecing you like. The reason why I like tiny piecing is because I feel like it's a small contained project that I can work on, and I can keep all of those little pieces and blocks that I've made, and they take up practically no space. And they're fun. Anything miniature is super fun, right? Like it just is. But if you're not comfortable working with small pieces, then please don't feel like you have to do that. Like if you're not comfortable working with small pieces, work with whatever size you want. But tiny pieces for me look like this. So I keep a bucket of little half square triangle units that I sew off. So as I'm sewing stitch and flip, what I do is take a second seam, and I'll just pull out a little stack. I take a second seam when I do my stitch and flip, and that means that when I trim my stitch and flip, then I have got a bonus half square triangle unit that I can use in a new project once I square it up. Now, all of the ones in this bin are actually bonus cutoff pieces that I got from a quilt that I did with Tiffany on a live stream, I think. The quilt top's over there. It will be loaded on my long arm hopefully soon. I did get my long arm back. It'll be loaded on my long arm hopefully soon, and I'm really excited to work with it, or to quilt it. But these are all the bonus half square triangle units that I have from that. I want to show you some of the things that I have done with these tiny pieces then, though. And these three, I'll start with, these three are little stars that I have made just from the cutout. See if we can get that to focus. It's kind of washed out a bit. This way? Yeah. Actually, let's try going back to the main camera. Here, there. Now you can get the better view of the color. There's one. Here is another. And here is the third. These square up to 4.5 inches, and there's 16 pieces in this block if you look closely. Gosh, why do I have any other, like any other camera? Because this one, like, I just need to buy another iPhone. This is amazing. But this is a 16 patch. And when I say 16 patch, it's a 16 patch because it's 4 across and 4 down. 4 times 4 is 16. And every single one of those are half square triangle units. And those half square triangle units finish at, I will tell you in a second, if I can find my ruler, I think they finish at like 1 inch. Let me double check. Yes, they finish at 1 inch. So they're 1.5 inch unfinished, which look like that. I don't know why I find playing with little tiny pieces soothing and fun. I think it's just because I love anything miniature. When I was a little girl, I loved doll houses, and I wanted a very big elaborate one, and I think this helps play into the doll house miniature world. These are probably some of the more recent ones that I've done, but I want to show you a journey that I took. And since this camera's better, we're just going to hold it up for you. I don't remember when this happened. I know it was this year because I feel like I got started on this with the Katrinkles miniature acrylic templates that I got last year during Vlogmas. But I found that I had some extra little squares, and I decided to use those to make really cute little 4 patches. This was just me working with fabric that was just a little too cute for me to want to put in the trash or send to Tiffany. I wanted to keep my hands busy, and so I just started sewing them and figured one day maybe I'd put them into something. And these little 4 patches, a great way to use them, if you've ever seen them, are for these prayer quilts. Now, if you don't know what this is, maybe this isn't your thing, but these are my thing. Prayer quilts are basically just a little miniature quilt block. It's actually a full quilt sandwich with very light quilting on it, but right in the middle in here, there's a little cross that they put in there that you can feel. And then on the back, they give you a little printout that says prayer quilt. So I have one of these, and I had intended to maybe use these as prayer quilts. But then after I started working with those 4-patches, I thought, well, why does it have to be a 4-patch? Why can't it be something a little bit more intricate? Like, well, I'll show you that one last, actually. Why can't it be something a little bit more intricate, like maybe using some half-square triangle units? If I just take 4 half-square triangle units, I can make an economy block. That works nicely. Or I could make an hourglass block. That's really pretty. And then I thought, well, why do I always have to work with half-square triangle units? What if I just want to work with squares? And so I took 2 of the squares, the green ones are the squares that were the size of the other 4-patch, and then some really tiny red and white ones, and put those together. I thought, well, that's a lot of fun. But what if I took that and built a little miniature log cabin block? And then I thought, well, that's a lot of fun. But what if I built all tiny little squares? And you'll see, like, you can see the outside row actually looks way too big. But once it's sewn into something, it'll finish up at what's in the middle. And then I thought, well, gosh, that looks really cute, but what if I didn't have the squares around the outside? And so I made a little piece like that. So I've got all of these little miniature blocks that I don't really have a purpose for, but they're a lot of fun to make, and they get me back into the groove. They make me feel like I completed something. They make me feel like I was able to be creative, and they don't take up any space, so I can just keep collecting them and then put them into something over time. This past Sunday, I did get a chance to sew. So for those of you that don't know about Karen Brown from Just Get It Done Quilts, you should check her out. She's got a YouTube channel with lots of subscribers, but she has a Karen Stitch Crew or Karen Stitch Circle, something like that. It's a channel membership on her channel. I think it's like $4.99 or $3.99 a month. I can't remember the price, but it's around $5. And what you get for that is access to a monthly Zoom with her and whoever else happens to join. It's usually like the first weekend of the month. And this past Sunday was her Zoom call. And so I hopped on there and I wanted to do a little bit of sewing. But part of the struggle that I have when I want to sew, and it's been a while, I don't have a project to dive into and I don't feel motivated enough to pull a whole project. And so I grabbed some little scraps and I just made 2 blocks. I made this really cute little friendship star. And now, spoiler alert, both of the blocks that I'm about to show you are using fig tree fabric that was supposed to be for Bliss. I cut out all the fabric to make my block 6 video for Bliss, and I sat down and recorded it, and I did it wrong. And so I decided I didn't want to waste that fabric because I liked it so much, so I made this block with the pieces that were wrong. And then I cut out and salvaged some and made this cute little sawtooth star. So I made both of these blocks during that little Zoom, and that was enough for me to feel creative enough that I finished something. I wanted to keep going, but unfortunately, life. So that's what I'm going to be working on tonight. I'm just going to pull out some half-square triangle units from my bucket, and I'm going to build some stuff out. And I'm going to talk to you while I'm doing that. So I've got these pieces that are already squared up and pressed. $4.99. Thank you, Donna. They're already squared up and pressed, so I'm just going to work with them. And as I'm doing it, I'm going to tell you some of the techniques that I use for putting all up, for doing little piecing. I know it's not everybody's favorite, but I'm going to show you what works for me. All right, so I first like to know how many pieces I have so I can kind of figure out like how big is my piece going to be. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this pile, I know I've got another 8 because 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's why I really like working with the little pieces, because I can lay them all out right here. I don't need a big surface. I've got 16 pieces, which means I can build a 16 patch, 4 by 4. And it's really just about, how do I want to arrange my pieces, right? Like, how do I want them to look? So I'm going to do just a little bit of playing around. I'm going to lay them out in the same orientation that I had for those other 4.5-inch blocks that I was working on. And this is just going to kind of give you an idea. So I've got those, and I need something to go in the middle. All of the little blocks would be cute as a center of a larger sawtooth quilt or the door of a house quilt. Yes, Laura, I think that would be great too. So I'm just going to kind of do something like this. And then I want to separate some of the color out here. So I'm going to do like that. Now this is where things get really fun. I could sew this together, or I could switch it up if I don't like the way the colors look. Maybe I want the purple. I do like that purple. Maybe I want the purple to be the star legs and the blue to be the center star. So I'm just going to play around until I see something that I like. Just like that. And then maybe I'll even... There we go. I do like the purple better, I think. And then the other thing that I can do, I don't have to have the background touching the background. I can have the blue pointing in. Aw, Katie, thank you. That's very kind. Thank you for that tip. All right, there we go. You do something like that. What do you guys think? I like the purple. I like the purple a lot. And what I could do if I really wanted to is I could put something else in here. So these are 1.5 inches. This a piece, right? So 1.5 inches next to 1.5 inches will be 3 inches. But when I take off a 1/4 inch on either side, it's going to mean 2.5 inches. So this square right in the middle is a 2.5. It'll be a finished 2.5 inches. So if I wanted to showcase a particular piece of fabric in the middle and just build my star legs around the outside, I could square up and fussy cut a 2.5 inch square and put it plop down in the middle. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to sew it the way it is. So one of the things that I like to do when I'm working with my tiny pieces, until they get to bigger pieces, when they're small like this, my seams always, I press open. And because I'm pressing open, I want to make sure that I'm sewing with like a 2.0 or a 1.8 stitch length, just to kind of reinforce that sewing a bit. And then I'm going to go a little slow, so I'm not going to cause the camera to wobble a bit. And once I've got that sewn together, I'm going to come over here with my finger. I'm going to put it in between those two pieces of fabric on that seam. I'm just going to kind of roll it down. I'm not trying to make this lay super flat. I'm just getting it to lay somewhat open so I can turn it over and give it some good heat. Then I'm going to grab my third piece. And because this is small pieces, I don't have to line anything up. Like I have my whole block laid out right there and I can see it as I'm sewing. And I think this for me is part of the other reason why I like tiny piecing. It's not because like it's all organized. It's right here and it's not taking up any room at all. Keeps my hands busy. It keeps my mind going. I feel like I'm being creative and I'm not making a huge mess because everything's right here. Pull my clapper over because we will need that. Friends got to stick together, you know. Aw. Becca, put the flower pieces in the center and see if you can get a full flower. I don't know what you mean by that. Oh, I see. Well, I only have, yeah, I could do this like that. And then this is a flower piece here. Can't get a full flower, but I could do like that. And I'm not ripping this one, so. It's already sewn in. We're not going to take that one off, but I will put the pink in the middle more. Hello, Brenda Foley. So, here we go. Tiny pieces. Tiny pieces. So now that's my first row. I've got all my pieces kind of finger pressed open, and I'm going to come in with some nice dry heat just to get that seam to lay flat a little bit more. And then I'm going to flip her over and give it some heat from the front. Hello, Billy. And then I'm going to lay this up here, and I'm going to build out the next row. What? I broke thread. What? I think the Juki needs to go in the shop, if I'm being honest. I really do. It's been not playing nicely lately. Better rethread it. And I guess that's about right, because it has been about a year. Had it for almost a year. And I've done a lot of work on it too, so might be time for a spa day. Figures. I just got the long arm back, and now the Juki has to go. There we go. All right, let's try that again. Oh, that one did so good. I thought it didn't, but I did break thread, so well, whatever. The triangle is wrong. It sure is. It sure is. Thank you. See? Nellie says, hello, Becca. How are you and the family doing? Sorry I'm late, but I'm here. Hello, Nellie. I'm glad you're here. We're doing well. This can be expected. Things are good. All right. We're going to turn it around this way. Since I've already pressed that, I'm just going to put some heat on here to get it to lay flat. Watch it, y'all. So Becca is going to start singing New Kids on the Block. I mean, they are right behind me, so you do. Yes, Becca, a look again at the first row. Yeah, I'm fixing that now. Sorry. I'm going to put the clapper on this one while it's cooling. Thinking I've not done well with this time change, been off all week. Oh yeah, we did have a time change this week, didn't we? Hello, VR. Hi. Welcome to the live stream. Okay, let's try that again. Taking that thread off that was left behind when I ripped the seam. The piece of thread didn't come off. There we go. One more time. Okay, I see what's happening here. It's slipping out of one of the discs that helps in the whatever, one of the tension discs. Yo, Patty G is in the house. Brenda said she's not doing well with the time change. And I was just realizing, this is the one where we got an hour, lady. They need a spa treatment every now and again. I just got my HQ Amara with Pro Stitcher in September. I love it. but will love the more I learn. Billy, congratulations. I do not have Pro Stitcher, but I did just get my Amara back from the shop. That was a mess. But shout out to the Quilter Studio in Fairfax, Virginia for getting it up and running again for only $195 too, and they had to have it for a month. There was so much wrong with it. They ended up, for those of you that are not tracking this, I have a long arm. It is a Handy Quilter Amara, and I don't know how or why, but a couple of the buttons on my handlebars quit working, and so I called a quilt shop who I will not mention. It was not the Quilter Studio, but I called a quilt shop in the area who has somebody certified to deal with Handy Quilter machines to come out and take a look at it. And he came out and took the whole machine apart and said that it was out of timing. Said it was out of time, and he serviced it and oiled it and said he did all these things, and when he left, the handlebars still had not been corrected the way I had expected them to be, but I just figured whatever, and I would just deal with it, because people pleaser, don't want to cause waves, don't want to argue, don't want to cause any tension. So I just let it go, and then it started skipping stitches like really bad. Not just a stitch every here and there, like a whole row it wouldn't sew. So I called Handy Quilter, and Handy Quilter said, well, it sounds like it's a timing issue. Have the guy come back out. And I was like, but he just timed it. He was here. Like, he has to come back out and fix it. So he came back out and fixed it. And then I really didn't get a chance to play with it very much. I did a couple of small projects on it, but nothing really big. And I thought I had noticed that maybe it skipped a stitch or two, but it wasn't anything big. Tucker came and worked with it for maybe like 10 minutes overall. He just stabilized a quilt on it, and that was it. And I decided I was going to put a bunch of small quilts on it onto a single piece of backing and just do some ruler work on all of these little miniature quilts that I had made, and I was going to get them done. I got one done, but it just, actually, I remember what it was. I put the Boo Crew mystery quilt from Fat Quarter Shop on there, and as I was stitching it, it wasn't acting right, but I just figured I had threaded the machine wrong. I changed the needle. I did all the things. It started like flickering, and like the needle was seizing up and wouldn't go anywhere. And so I called Handy Quilter again, and Handy Quilter said the guy that had been working on the machine needed to come back out, because it sounded like he had gotten one of the wires in the machine pinched when he took it apart and greased it and everything. I did not want the guy to come a third time. I did not want that to happen. So I didn't call him. I eventually found a date and time that worked with my local quilt shop and took it into the Quilter Studio in Fairfax and gave it to him. Turns out the handlebars are bad. And it needed greasing and lubing and all of the things, which I had just had done. So I don't know why it didn't have enough oil in it. They said it had oil in it, but they said nowhere near to the specifications that they feel like the machine should have had. So like, I don't know. The one button wasn't working. I called somebody. I had nothing but problems with it after that person touched the machine. So I took it into my local quilt shop, and I've got it back now. Now, I will say the one sad thing about all this is they said that I told them, the quilt shop that I dealt with, the technician, and they did say that they had 2 or 3 other machines, long arms, from this one shop that had to come into their shop for them to fix after they had service from this other place. So I don't know. I don't know their story. That's all hearsay. I just know what happened to my story. And I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to give anybody bad press. Oh, thank you, Ian. Ombre. I feel like they look like cotton candy, right? Cotton candy, cotton candy. Completely reasonable to not want the guy to work on it again. Yep, he had two shots. See, the Juki's doing this thing where the thread is breaking. I think I need Tiffany to come work on my Juki. Oh, well, that's why. Maybe. I wonder if I have it threaded wrong. It's been so long, maybe I don't remember how to thread the machine, because it's only been since I've been back that it's doing this. It should go over, like, it should make like an S when it's going through those tension discs, right, Tiff? Or anybody else that sews on the Juki TL 2010Q. Do I have this threaded wrong? I may have. Hey, Debbie. Hello, Roxanne. She will have it in a million pieces. Hey, you know what? She can put it in a million pieces because she'll be able to put it back together and it'll still work. Sean says, try rethreading it. That solves most of my issues. I will. This is not, that one stitch is going to pop at the end. So I'm just going to put it back under here and take a couple more stitches. How many of you, when you're piecing a quilt, how many of you back stitch at the start and end of your seams? Wonder if I should start doing that. At least for like the small pieces. Get your book out. It's humbling, but we all have to do it. Yes, Linda. I will have to find my book. I don't know where it is. That is also humbling. Oh, shoot. Hey, has anybody heard from Beth? Beth from Goody Goods? How's she doing? I feel like I haven't copped up with anybody for a long time. Beverly James says, you are a techie genius. I love to see you problem solve. And you just completely went off the screen there, but let me go back and read that. You said, I love to see you problem solve. I'm in amazement with your abilities there, plus your quilting talents. I have fun with you as you enjoy usually making blocks. Got it. Okay. It took me a minute to read that whole thing, but thank you, Beverly. I appreciate that. And not I, says me. Look, there's my little block. Now I'm going to put the block together. So Uncle Google has a copy. Yes. She was on yesterday. I'll have to check it out. Tiffany says, are you using Aurifil? Because I am. And at this time, it has broke like 500 times. Yes. Yes, I am using Aurifil. And here's the thing, Tiff. So when I got this machine, you said, my machine doesn't like Aurifil. My machine doesn't like Aurifil. My machine doesn't like Aurifil. And I was like, I'm using the same machine you are, and I have no problems with Aurifil. But in the past month, I've started having problems with Aurifil. And it's not because Aurifil is bad thread. There's just something like it keeps breaking in my machine, and I don't know why. And it's frustrating. But I'm going to deal with it because I got tons of it. It's a thing. I'm just now recalling that you had problems with the Aurifil. There's got to be a setting because the thread is the same, right? Like, I don't understand. Logically, it doesn't make any sense to me how a machine cannot like a certain brand of thread. And sometimes that machine, with some people and that thread, it's got to be like a tension setting or something. All right, so there's 2 rows. I'm going to put these 2 rows together. Beth has been hopping on randomly. She is going live tonight at 9. Awesome. Well, she'll be live in 1 minute. Is she still sewing with Heather on Friday nights? It's literally been forever. I need to text her. I have a pile of quilt tops that I told her I was going to send to her, and she could do whatever she wanted on them, and I think she was going to donate them as Project Linus quilts. And like the slacker that I am, they are still sitting on the table over there, sadly. I really need to get them in the mail. Kimberly Jolly uses Orifil on her Juki. See, I don't know. It's just mind-boggling how Kimberly Jolly can use Orifil on her Juki, but Tiffany can't. Like, I don't understand. They're the same machine. It's the same thread. It's just different quilters, and I don't understand why it works sometimes and it doesn't work others. And I'm not saying that it's because Tiffany doesn't know what she's doing or Kimberly doesn't know what she's doing. It's just because it replace Kimberly's name with somebody else's name and Tiffany's name with somebody else's name, and you'll have the same thing. Same problem, different machine, different person, different type of thread. I hear about that with long arms all the time. Just doesn't make any sense to me. I like that you guys like working on blocks with me too, because sometimes I don't want to make a whole project. I just want to make something. Oh, maybe it's just a bad batch of thread. Maybe. Oh, Beth is here. Hi, Beth. Oh, I love you, Beth. We miss you. I haven't talked to you in forever, and I was telling everybody I was a slacker because I need to get those Project Linus quilt tops out to you. Aw. Heard you're going live at 9 o'clock. Is that 9 o'clock Eastern? Or is that 9 o'clock your time? You know, Donna's doing a live tonight at 10 too, so you guys have places to go when I'm done. Wonder how many little blocks I'm going to get through. How are you feeling, lady? I haven't talked to you in forever. I need to catch up with you this weekend. Gigi Quilt says, I use Orifil and have the Juki TL2010Q and have had no issues. Tiffany says, I have adjusted my tension so many different times for this brand, but it just don't like it. Oh, gosh. Life has been crazy over here, too. I hear you, lady. So no harm, no foul. I just don't want you to think I forgot about you. I love you, girly. Okay, here we go. So this is probably for this middle seam is probably the worst because it is the bulkiest because you got all those points coming right in the middle. So I give it a lot of heat from the back. Hello, Leanne Davis. Is that a girl says, I use Orifil in my Juki all the time with no problem. And then I give it a lot of heat from the top. And then I just throw a clapper on it and I let it cool off. And then once it's as flat as this is going to make it, I spritz it with Best Press and make it flatter. Oh yeah, we got to do that sew and share thing. So if you guys want to share what you're working on, put it in the Facebook group. Just as you don't buy a car that was built on a Friday, you look at the code on the driver's door to find out what day of the week it was made. Maybe it's the same thing. Is there a code on here that's like, that was made on a Monday or a Friday, so avoid it. All right, let's see. So this is where I think it becomes a lot of fun. It's not perfectly flat, right? Like, it's so washed out. The colors are so washed out in that camera. But it's not... Focus! Focus! You're focused. Now you're just washed out. Whatever. You're just being stupid. Here, look in this camera. See? Pretty. I'm telling you, all of the Canons need to go away for just like 3 iPhones. I could do everything with iPhones, and I could do it wirelessly. Ooh, actually, that's great. Okay, so now that that's flat-ish, I like to do one more thing. Give it 1.5 spritz of Best Press. Oh, sure, now the colors come through nice. And then I put heat on it until I don't see any more steam coming. And then it is super flat, like a sheet of paper. And it's really, 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 really hot. So I'm going to let that clapper lay on it. Beth said Archie is getting big. He's about 15 weeks left, and they're going to fly by. How many quilts can I get done before he gets here? I don't know. Lorraine Young says, I don't know what kind of tension disc you have. It could be some dust in it. It only takes a little bit to mess it up. Well, I have never cleaned my tension discs, so maybe the machine needs a good cleaning. Oh, Heather says, Apple just needs to come out with a camera. Never mind the phone. Yeah, like, well, so what I was thinking is, do they still make the iPods? And are the cameras on the iPod the same as the cameras on the iPhones? Because I really only need one extra one. I don't need to have 3 cameras. It gets to be a little too much. I'm just thinking. Robin says, I love that size for a prayer quilt. This will be 4.5 inches squared up, so 4 inches finished. And I'm not going to trim it because I don't have my 4.5 inch ruler, but that's the block, and I'll show you in this camera. This is the block that I made tonight. It's kind of funny how the petals formed in the middle there, because it looks a little bit like an S, kind of. It's kind of neat. It's neat. So iPods are obsolete since the phones are better. Oh, yes, but I don't need to activate the phone. So iPods are discontinued. So I just got to buy a phone. Maybe I can buy like the cheap phone. I just need a camera that has good lighting and color. That could be, I think I could do this. I think I could do this. Somebody on my family plan needs to update their phone, and I need to take theirs. All right, I don't have any more that are pressed and squared up and ready to go. Sad face. So I'm going to have to pick some pieces. I have to pick some. Hey, these aren't clipped together. I like to clip, by the way, if you were wondering, I like to clip all of the matching ones together so that when I'm ready to work on something, I can just pull those out. Oh, look, there's a yellow one. And I've got all the coordinating pieces together. I don't know what I don't want to work on those. So I'm going to pick up these little pieces of scraps. Buy a refurbished. Oh, Sylvie, look at you with your great ideas. That's a good idea. I'll show you what I did to make, that's what I'll do next. I'll show you what I did to make here, blocky, 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 these. Show you what I did to make that. So, or maybe I'll just be inspired to make something else. The first thing I'm going to show you is I've got these 2 half square triangle units. How's the camera on the new iPad? Pretty good, and I have the iPad upstairs actually, so that's a really good point. I could use that. I've got the iPad Pro, so it's got a good camera on it. So I've got these 2 half square triangle units, and they were miscut. Well, they weren't miscuts. I cut them, I sewed them, I put them together, and then I realized that my tone-on-tone was assembled backwards. So I ripped the seam and re-sewed it back together. But by the time I did all that, I had recut out and the pieces to make these. So I just put these in my little scrap pile to play with. But I can make smaller half square triangle units out of that. And so what I do is I'll come in here. This is a 2.5 inch half square triangle unit. So I could get 1 1/4 inch out of, I could get 2 1 1/4 inches, because 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches is 1 1/4 inch, or half of that is that. But I like the idea of, I think I can get 1.5 inches actually, it looks like. I'm gonna get a little fabric marker pen. I'm just gonna, if I put that at 1.5 inches, what does that do? And then over here, yeah, that's not gonna work. I could get 1 inch. Oh, I could get 1 inch and 1.5 inches. Let's see what we do with that. That's what we're gonna do. So I am going to cut 1 inch off this side. And what I'm doing is putting the 45-degree line right on that seam. And then 1 inch here is on the left side and the bottom. And I'm just going to trim that off, just like that. Now I do have to square this up a little bit because the fabric was not quite squared before. Now I have this cute little 1-inch half square triangle unit. Then if I turn this around, I can put that 45-degree line back on that seam, cut here and here, and I put the 1.5-inch line on the left and the bottom, and I've got these little pieces that I can put in that pile over there. I've got those half square triangle units. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to first do 1 inch. Oh, that's so cute. I'm going to turn this around and clean it up because I didn't square those up perfectly before I put them in my scrap pile. The guy who sews, Sean, says I keep my old phone in case I ever want to have 2 cameras on a live. I think that's a great idea, and I just need to commandeer someone's extra phone. Someone's phone. They need to get upgraded. That's all. That's all there is to it. My husband has a very old, not very old, he has the 10, the iPhone 10. Can you believe it? Yeah. I think my daughter has an 11. And neither one of them are eyeballing upgrading anytime soon, but I think it's time. I think it's time for them to upgrade. Okay, there we go. So I've got these little teeny tiny squares and then these slightly bigger squares, and I just got to figure out what I want to do with that. I don't have, oh, I do have another half square triangle unit here that I can do the same thing with. There we go. Oopsies, come on. By the way, if you're curious, that's my puppy voice. That's how I talk to the dog. Come on, puppies, let's go. Come on, puppies. Don't get a 13. There's audio issues. I have a 13. That's an iPhone 13 Pro Max. Had it for a year. Haven't had any issues. Do you mean maybe the 14, which is the new one? I'm not upgrading. Okay. These are still big enough that I could do something with. Now this piece, not big enough, not worth keeping. This little piece that is attached by a thread, not worth keeping, but all of these are still worth keeping. So we're going to keep them and just play with them. I don't want to keep every single little tiny piece that comes off of my sewing table. I only do this if it's fabric that I absolutely love, because there's so much you could do with even just this little pile. I would be overrun in scraps. So now I just got to think about how I want to arrange these and lay them out. I like the idea of just having them all kind of going the same way. Ian says, I have the 13 as well, Becca. You can buy mine so I can get the 14. Can Will you trade? Can I give you a camera for your phone? I wonder what it would look like. This is all about, I saw Jenny Doan when she did Jenny on the Road a few years ago, pre-pandemic. And one of the things that she talked about is how a lot of times she comes up with stuff just because she's like, I wonder what if. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just like, I wonder what I could do if I did this. I wonder what if I did this? What if I did this? So what I'm thinking about right now is what if I had like, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just laying them out. My brain is kind of stuck because I only have 3 of this, right? I only have 3 and I feel like I need a 4th one for an even number, but maybe not. I don't have a Pro. No, the 13. Ah, Shannon said. Sometimes people say I sound like a robot, but if I put it to a speaker, it's okay. Google, it has, okay, the 13 straight up. Gotcha. I have the 13 Pro Max. I haven't had any issues with mine. So, good to know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to make. That's the problem. Oh, you know what I could do? I'm going to take these and I'm going to turn it so that I'm kind of putting the fabric different sides together. And I'm going to sew a half, sorry. I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch away from the center marking on either side. And this should give me 2 kind of like hourglass type of blocks. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you do. You know what I mean. Oh, my nose is just... Must be gonna kiss a fool or come into some money. That's what they say, right? Now I'm going to set this pile over here. Move all my little pieces I'm playing with here because I'm going to have to press. I'm going to open these up. Oh, so cute. It's so cute. It's so tiny. What is a good pattern to make stockings? Does anybody know what channel to get a download of the pattern? Yes. My favorite channel video pattern for stockings is Erica Arndt from Confessions of a Homeschooler. She has a free pattern download for stockings on her website, and she has a video tutorial that goes along with it. I have made those stockings a number of times. I absolutely love them, and I actually need to make some more this year. So I'll be making some stockings using her template. I have it printed out. It's in a project bin behind me. I just got to pick out the fabric I want to use to make them. Confessions of a Homeschooler. Look that up on YouTube. You can just search for Confessions of a Homeschooler Christmas Stocking. Hi, Teresa. Crafty Gemini has a good one too, Heather says. Janet says, bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Aren't those cute? Oh, did I do both? I did. Now I'm going to square them up. And to square them up, what I'm going to do is turn this... Sean says, I've always been Team Android. I know I'll probably get disowned here for that. No, I don't believe there's any right technology that everybody should subscribe to. You use the technology that works for you. If you are Team Android, be Team Android. It's fine. If you are Team iPhone, be Team iPhone. You don't owe anybody an explanation for what you choose to use, just like your sewing room, your rules. Okay, so when I'm looking at this, my little unit is hitting between 1 1/8 and 1 1/4 inch, and I just want to make this a nice even number. And because I know these little tiny pieces that I put together, I think I made 3 of them. Where's my third one? Here it is. These are 1 inch. I'm just going to square this up to 1 inch. So I'm looking for the 1/2 inch mark, which is right here on my ruler. And I'm going to put the 1/2 inch mark right dead center where all 4 of those fabrics come together. I'm going to clean up the right, clean up the top. I am making sure that my 45-degree line is right on that seam. Then I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to put the 1/2 inch right in the dead center, put my 45-degree line back on those seams, clean up the right, just like that, clean up along the top, just like that. So now I've got a piece that looks like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Put the 1/2 inch mark right dead center, just like that, clean up the right. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, but I think it'll be kind of fun to have a little 1 inch unfinished whatever unit this is called. There we go. The scrap pieces feel almost as big as the block. Okay, now I get to figure out how I want to put this together. I got these little pieces, they'll go over here. I don't know, that's the thing. Maybe I could do something, ooh, that's kind of cool. What if I do, this kind of looks like it could be an Ohio star if I do something like that, but I don't know if I want to make an Ohio star. What if I want to have it like curve? What if I want to do something like this? That's kind of neat, yeah? So it's kind of like that. And then what I could do, since I know these are all inch pieces, I could put an inch there. What if I do this? Oh, I like that. Look, it kind of goes to a chevron, kind of. And then what if I do, what, oh no, I don't want them together. That's the problem. I feel like this is a little bit like playing that old connect the pipes game, you know? Maybe I do want them together. I need another like little tiny half square triangle unit to do it this way though. Hi Jennifer, she said they are the tiniest pieces ever. They are, and I have no idea what to do with them. That's sad, right? What if I go like this? What if I just have them all pointing down the same way? Here. And then what if I just set these aside for later? Wow, Becca, this is fun. I'll have to give tiny pieces a go. It's just nice because I don't have to get up to a design board and play around with it. I can play around with little tiny pieces. But I feel like whenever I'm working with small pieces, I tend to go to the same blocks and I want to make something different. So I think, I don't know. I've got this pile of the backgrounds and the brown. I don't know what to do. I need a tablet. Good morning, Janet. I need a tablet, Lori says, because my 8-year-old Android tablet bit the dust. I just finally upgraded my tablet like 3 weeks ago. You know what? When I don't know what to put together, we're going to set them aside. And I've got all these little super teeny tiny pieces over here. Are these all an inch too? They are. That's an inch. That's an inch. This is not an inch. But these are inch squares. So that could be an inch. And then this could be an inch. Oh, that's cute. I don't know what I'll do with it, but okay. And then this could be an inch, like that. And then maybe I'm trying to use these to connect that, and I don't know why. I'm just going to sew these together. We'll see what happens. I might not make anything. We'll find out. I just stitch tiny strips together and then cut them. I like that idea too. Oh man, I just choked on my cocoa. I'm fine. Oh my goodness. What did you choke on your cocoa for? And cocoa, hey, I saw you had lots of videos of, and by lots, I mean like 2 or 3, of the snow you have already. Oh my goodness. There we go. I'm going to put these two together. It's the odd number that's throwing me off here, by the way. But why does everything have to be, maybe it could be just a 4 patch. So what if I go like, yay. Hot cocoa with marshmallows does sound good. Diana says, are you using a 1/4 inch seam? Approximately. It's about a scant of a 1/4 inch. Okay. Oh, that's kind of neat. Oh, I sewed that on differently, didn't I? No, no, yes, I did. But I like that. I'll just sew this together. I took a class on tiny blocks, Sheila says. Anything from the 9-patch family works well. Our blocks were 2.5 inches. Exactly. Exactly. And that's part of the reason why this is throwing me off, because I've only got like 6 pieces to make a 9-patch. And I don't know how to arrange them or what else to put on here. My mind wants to keep going to, okay, we'll just grab 16 pieces and make a star. My favorite quilt that is actually on my bed is a double Irish change made from 1-inch squares, and in between there are little tiny stars. Each 5-inch block is 25 pieces, and I love it. That's awesome. All right, so we've got this little piece that kind of looks neat. Looks like a little bow tie. A little 4-patch. And then I don't know what happened to the other little thing like this. But I could do actually some white on either side. Oh, there it is right here, but we're not going to deal with that right now. We're going to put some white on either side, and we're just going to border around it. Just to kind of put some negative space. 1-inch wide, 1-inch squares, rather. It's wider than 1 inch. Susie Gabbard says, good evening, Becca and fellow quilters from Northern Kentucky. Weather is getting cold and I'm getting ready for snow. Their bare paws were tough but fun, Sheila says. So I'm just gonna do that. I think this works for helping me get my sojo back because it allows me to just be creative without having to worry about doing a whole project, you know? Okay. Now I've got a little bit of background on one side, so I'm going to put background on the other side. Make sure I put this right side down. Tone on tone can be so hard because I can't always tell if it's right side up or right side down. I just made 15 bowl cozies and couldn't make any more. Oh my goodness. It's been pretty warm up here the past few days. Unseasonably warm. It was really cold and now it's like warm, and maybe not unseasonably, but it's been like 60s or 70s, it feels like. Okay. Oh my god. This one looks super cute. I love it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm going to take my little tiny ruler, and I know that this should be, there we go. Yep. I'm just squaring this up a little bit. Since I took a 1/4 inch seam, these little pieces that I sewed onto the end should be 3/4 of an inch right now. These are too small to keep, so I'm going to set them aside. Look at that. This is going to be really stinking cute. I need a little bit more white because I want to border the white around either side. So I'm just going to cut off of this. I know I need 1 inch. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to cut 1 inch strip. It's 1 inch by 2.5. And I think this is just at 2 inches. So I'm going to need 2 1-inch strips for the top and bottom. I'm going to put one on the top. Good night, Kathy. Becca has turned into a statue and is frozen. I have. Indeed, I have. Wonder what happened. Pause. Resume. Hold on, guys. Technology doesn't always play nicely. Let's go back up here, and we'll hide that, and we'll unhide this, and maybe we'll do there. Now I'm back to the old technology. I have no idea why the other camera quit working, but technology. Okay. I was so happy to be able to use the iPhone camera. I don't know why it froze. Get the seams open. Like this. Oh, Pam says, I just watched your very first video, changing a needle. That's an old video. Tammy says, at least you have options, Becca. Yep, that is true. The picture-in-picture is frozen. Not anymore. It should be good. Oof. Okay, so here I'm going to show you one of the, I pressed this seam open, but because this is just a regular piece of fabric, it's actually creating more bulk in the center because I have all those points. So this is an instance where even though I'm working with really tiny pieces, pressing open is not a great idea for me. So I'm going to press that over underneath the border and put my clapper on top of it. Do you use best press or anything when you iron your pieces? Yes, I do. I usually wait until my block is all done and give it a good best press before then, but most of the time, if I'm cutting my own yardage, I don't do this with like pre-cut. Well, maybe I do if I'm going to subcut the pre-cuts. I don't do it with my Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt is the big thing I want to point out. But if I'm cutting yardage or I'm going to subcut pre-cuts down, I best press that fabric before I cut or subcut, and that allows me to introduce best press along the way without worrying about it. And watching Tiff in her garage too. Yeah, she's not in a garage anymore. She's taken reign of her house. Okay. Hello, Carol from Delaware. I'm going to see if that other camera's working again in a second. Oh, this is super cute. This will square up at 2 inches, by the way, if anybody's curious. It's gonna square at 2 inches. 24 inches of snow the other day, Teresa. Holy cow. That is a lot of snow, lady. That is a lot of snow. 2 inches. Look at this. Look at that. See if I can get the other camera working. The color's better on it anyway. Tiffany said, I own this house. Ha ha ha. My craft deserves it. You're funny. Let's see how this works. Is that, oh, it's still frozen. Hold on. Yeah, I know you can hear me, but let me see. Okay, there's that. Now let's go back to here. I'm done. Interesting. Interesting. It's weird how we're going to transition back down to here. And then over here, I'm going to do FaceTime like that. Nope. Nope. What is going on? I don't know. I don't know what is going on. I don't know why it don't want to work. Oh. Oh, it's back. Hi. Yes? Right here? No, right there. Yeah. Weird. It's definitely doing something funky, but I guess I can take this down now. It's doing something funky where it's not even recognizing the camera anymore, and I don't know why. Oh, I know why. I know exactly why. The tripod. It's the tripod issue. Okay, let me try again and see what happens. Huh. Troubleshooting on a live stream, my friends. Okay. Let me put it back and see if I can get it back where it was. I just want to see if I can make this work. I have to know. I have to know. Okay. Yep. So the camera, right here? No, right there. Why are you still going up there? Huh. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. I'll worry about it later. I don't know why it quit working. All right, so this is the block that I made. I will give you a nice close-up shot of it here, like that, all washed out. Yeah, let's do a sew and share. Let's see what you guys have been working on tonight. So if you haven't already done this, Facebook, yes. If you do exclamation Facebook in the chat, you will get a link over to my Facebook group, and you can share pictures of what you've been working on tonight, and that will allow us to have a little bit of sew and share where I show everybody what you have been working on today. So I am going to head over here and fix this so that I need to have 2 of these. Like that. Pull this over here. this goes over there so I can see the chat while we're looking at the Facey books. Come on. I did not set it up beforehand to do this, but I want to. I want to do it. So it takes me a second because I've got to go in and do all the configurations to make sure that you can see Facebook along with me. And it's not working. Maybe we won't be doing this tonight. Let me close this and see if I come over here. Oh, it is working? I have no idea. Do I have multiple windows open right now? I do. That's why. That's why. Okay. Nope. This is not playing nice, Doda. Oh my gosh. We might not be doing a sew and share tonight, guys. And I think I got it. Think it's there, yeah. Yes, it is not sized appropriately, but we'll get it in the end. I gotta get things lined up, so just bear with me. I think that's good. Okay, so, all right, there we go. Sorry about that. I do have to open another tab so I can see the chat because I can't see it right now. So give me a second to pull that up. I'm going to come back over here. Actually, we'll come over here. I can't. You know what? I can see the chat right there. I don't even know what I'm trying to do right now. Just ignore me. All right, so here we go. Gosh. Wendy has been working on binding for tonight. The first 4 quilts are for her sister and brother's wives. The last one is for my great niece. I need to get them all sent up north, she says. All right, let's get that. Make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see. The boxes are all moving around. Okay, we're going to change this to new post, and that's just going to bring the most recent up to the top. Allows me to keep up with everything that's being posted. I got this fabric on clearance at Hobby Lobby for $3 a yard, says Pamela Weber. I'm making coasters, hot pads, etc. Katie says there are 2. She's doing some Christmas trees. That's it. That's what she's making. We already talked about this. We're going to move on to the next one. This is from Donna Struntz at 10 o'clock tonight. She's going to be going live to continue working on her Lion Project FPP. This is really pretty. Nicely done. Oh, happy birthday, Beverly. Susie Lopez says, a work in project. It's a quilt for a great nephew. Patsy Sweat says, hello from Waco, Texas. Hello, Patsy. Katie Vaught, this is another work in progress and it's almost complete. I'm going to hang it on my door at work. Update, just saw the mistake. Wondered why I had those extra squares. I don't see the mistake. I'm sitting here looking to see what the mistake is. I don't see the mistake. So there you go. Pam Birchfield, Clue 4, Team Do Kale. Love this colorway. I can't wait to get started on mine. I have to leave it in the box until Ian gets here. Lori Fair is working on craft show items. Lori, those are amazing. I love them. love zipper pouches. Julie Edwards Fry, first clothing item I have made dresses for the So Yeah dress drive. Very cool. If you guys are looking for a service project, make sure to check out So Yeah Quilting. Mini Charming Christmas Quilt. I finished quilting this mini. I left off the colored border on purpose. I'm going to bind it with red and white stripe. Quilting a second one right now. Going to try and sell them at a Christmas market at the end of the month. I'm having fun quilting them. My confidence in straight line quilting is growing. Ooh, Social Lights 2 block number 3. Nice, Katie. Deb Rhodes says, I finished these just as you started. Awesome. Are those aprons? I think, yeah. Debbie Dunn says, I used my AccuQuilt to cut my quarter square triangles and half square triangles for my Social Lights too. My QST dies that came with my cubes all have points in the center. Have they changed, or maybe the studio dies are different from the Go dies? I checked the size of the die. All the ones that say QST on the side for all the sizes of the cubes I have are exactly the same. I don't know. What she's talking about is the Puzzle Mystery Quilt Clues. When you're getting a quarter square triangle, the triangle doesn't have a point at the top. It has a plateau. And I know they die cut, but I can't answer that question. I'm so sorry. Yeah, this was funny on Instagram. You'll have to go check that out. But I saw this car, like, see if it'll load. I don't know if it will. Oh, it will. I saw this car sitting at the light the other day. Like, what even is this? Like, what? It's a hot rod decked out in red and green Christmas lights. Like, what even is that? I just was a little flabbergasted. All right, we're going to go back and choose new posts. See if there's, I don't see anything else new in here, but I will refresh and make sure that if anybody else posted something, we can get it up here so you can see. Oh, I guess I can remove this now since it is no longer October. Oh, Martha Tureen, working on quilting this top. That's a great picture. And then we still have that one. I'll refresh one more time. Diana's Sewing Adventure says, or Diana Sewing says, I love the aprons. Beverly says, I just started sewing 1 year and 8 months ago. Never sewed in my life, but I have made about 21 small and lots of full-size quilts. I love making quilts. Wished I had started years ago. Oh, Diana says they are called slingshots. Awesome. Sean says, that is awesome, Beverly. I started about 9 years ago when I was in my mid-30s. Sean, are we the same age? Anna Bliss says, first attempt at apple core die from AccuQuilt. I kept yelling at the binding, but I finally got it done. Been there, done that. Heather said it's a Can-Am. There's only one wheel in the back, and the owner has a lot of Christmas spirit. Yes, the owner does. Jennifer Turney says, this is Fallon's pattern, and it was great fun. You guys, if you haven't checked out Fallon, she is on YouTube as So Be It Quilts. Go check her out. Monica Higby says, finished while I was watching you. Very pretty. I love those fabrics. We'll refresh one more time. I keep saying that, and then I just keep refreshing to see if there's anything else, because I'd hate to leave people out if they're looking to share their creative progress tonight. But I did refresh 2 or 3 times and nothing else came in. So we're going to come back over here, and we're just going to wrap things up for tonight. So do I have all of my Sojo back? No. But you know what I do have? My husband driving up the driveway. He's back from his friend's house. So we're going to end the live stream here. I'm going to go spend some time with my husband. I've got enough Sojo back that I think I actually want to sit down and do some sewing. I made some super cute little teeny tiny blocks. This allows me to feel creative. It allows me to sit in my room, get used to my machine, and just have fun without having to make a whole project. And this, by the way, is not only great for getting your Sojo back, but it is also a lot of fun. You can't see me, but it is also a lot of fun for if I'm just trying to de-stress, right? And that's a lot of why I feel like I struggle to get my sojo back when it's not here. I feel like some of the times what happens is I want to sew, but the whole idea of pulling out a project and picking up where I left off, or starting a new project, or just thinking of something I want to do can be so overwhelming for my brain that I just end up not even doing anything. So if I get something silly and something stupid that doesn't even matter, like this tiny little 2-inch block, it's enough that I will want to make something else. It's like Lay's. You can never eat just one, right? This is my little potato chip, and now that I've made this, I want the whole bag. I don't know if that made sense to you, but it sure made sense to me. So from here, you got a couple options. Goody Goods, Beth over at Goody Goods, I think is going to have a live stream tonight at 10 o'clock. And Donna has a live stream that'll be happening, Handmade by Ying, at 10 o'clock as well. So, as I like to say when I end my live streams, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here because I'm ending the live stream. So go check out one of those other content creators, and I'll see you guys all real soon. Thank you for sewing with me, friends. Bye!